After watching Inside Alive, I felt a ton of emotions. I felt love, compassion, sorrow, empathy, and hope. During the film, I was brought to tears because I have seen so many family members deal with dementia. I know firsthand how difficult it is to visit a family member when they are not even able to identify you and you feel like the person that you are visiting is not the same person you used to know. Whenever I would visit my relatives, I was always so sad, but I just thought about all the happy moments with them. One quote from the movie that really stood out to me was when Dr. Sachs said, "Music is inseparable from emotion." I feel like this quote really embodies the whole point of the movie because you can see how these people truly, their personality just changes when they start listening to music. When they first show most of the patients with dementia, they are just sitting in their beds or in a wheelchair and they are barely able to move or respond to questions. And then once Dan puts the headphones on their head and they start listening to the music, they start singing and dancing, and you can just see a totally new person in front of you. They are smiling, their eyes are twinkling, and you can just see how happy they are. I've always thought of music as something that brings people together, and this movie strengthened my belief that music can connect people. I know that most people struggling with dementia feel so helpless and really struggle to remember things, so they start to feel really frustrated. And I was so moved in the movie when I saw how their bodies lit up when the music was played because I bet it was such a relief to be able to hear the music, and then some of their older memories started flooding back to them, and I feel like they were all probably really happy with that. My favorite person in the whole movie was Henry. I really loved how his daughter described him as such a energetic, loving person who was always singing and dancing. And then after she was done describing him, they show Henry for the first time and he's just sitting in his wheelchair. He's pretty much non-responsive and it just is not the same person that his daughter was describing. And then after Henry starts listening to the music, you can just see his whole personality change. So I'm going to play that quick clip for you.
Let's go with it.
I want to sing with this.
You can if you like.
So you can just see how Henry, he starts singing and he is so happy and it is so cute. So a little bit after that, Henry starts to imitate his favorite artist and he starts singing "I'll Be Home for Christmas." And then I'm going to play another quick clip of Henry after he is done listening to music. He talks about the way it made him feel.
His idea.
What does music do to you?
Give me the feeling of love. No man. Figure right now the world need to come into music, singing. You got beautiful music here. Beautiful, lovely. And I feel the band of love, dream. The Lord came to me, made me holy. I'm a holy man. So he gave me these sounds. I'll just say, I'll meet you. Let me see, Rose.
So I just thought that was really cute, how he truly feels like music is a gift from the Lord and how he feels so much love in music. Another person that really impacted me was John. So when they first showed John, he was just sitting in his wheelchair and they were trying to show him pictures of himself, but John wasn't even able to identify himself. So they interviewed one of the nurses and we learned that John served in the war, and then after the war he moved to Philadelphia and became a singer, dancer, and performer. So they start playing the music for John and he just lights up and he starts singing in one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. And then when they're interviewing him, he said that the music awoke feelings that he had not felt in years and that he was so moved by his emotions that he started crying, which made me start crying as well. One part of the film that I found really interesting was when they talked about how nursing homes have become such a business now and are so much more institutional than they used to be, and how they've kind of lost sight of the fact that they were supposed to mimic homes. I didn't even know that nursing homes were ever meant to be set up like mock homes, because every nursing home that I have been in has felt so much like a hospital. So it was really sad to know that most of the elderly people spend their last few moments in these facilities. I also found it really fascinating when the film interviewed a doctor and they were talking about how nursing homes are so quick to fill their patients' bodies up with medicine, and no one stops to think about how such a simple thing like music could have such an impact on these patients. One thing that I found very, very shocking was that the one doctor said he could write a prescription for a pill that costs thousands of dollars a month and no one would even bat an eye. It would get approved by insurance right away. But if he was to write a prescription for his client to listen to music every day, it would be shut down and probably not approved at all. It was shocking to find out that even with so much evidence that music could have such an impact on these patients' lives, that most nursing homes still don't even try to incorporate it in their daily care. At the end of the film, it said that still to this day, only 650 nursing homes in the country invoke music to help their patients, and that's compared to the thousands and thousands of nursing homes that there are. I think that this made me start to question the decisions that were made in nursing homes, and that maybe we should start looking at simpler methods such as music instead of just relying all on medicine. I feel like the film truly shows that music can truly bring people together and reignite a flame in humans. And I think one of the times that I saw someone's flame most ignited was when they were working with Denise, and she put the headphones on and she got right out of her walker and started dancing around with Dan, and it was so cute to hear, especially learning that for the past 2 years that she had been in the nursing home, she was totally reliant on her walker. However, if I saw her, just a clip of her dancing, you would never know that she needed a walker to get around. She was just moving, and it was so inspiring to see. I think that the occupational therapy profession can use the same approach to support occupational performance to help engage clients in their desired life activities. The movie showed that music can bring people back to life. The same could be applied to occupational therapy. If you're helping an elderly client with balance, maybe you could put on their wedding song and see if you're able to get them to dance with you. So this would help them with their whole body coordination, and you would be able to work on some vestibular with them. Or if you are helping a teenager that just became paralyzed, maybe you could play their favorite song to get them to realize that their lifestyle has meaning and to get them to connect with things that they used to love. Or if you had a young child who was really not motivated to do OT that day at all, maybe you could put on a song to see how fast they could get ready, because music can be used in such a variety of different ways. And I feel like watching the film really showed me that something as small as music can have such a huge impact on people, and that was really just mind-blowing to see that all this time we think that music is just a simple pastime or something that we do just to entertain ourselves, when really it has such a strong connection to people's emotions, because we saw every single patient had the same reaction. They all just lit up, and you could tell that the music really did make their day so much better. So I think that we should all remember that as we're going forward and doing care, that maybe thinking a little bit outside the box and incorporating music or something similar could really improve our therapy sessions.